you get the point.
I do understand. And also some of your discipline, not only from the church, but I understand you were in cadets, the army as well too.
Well, not cadets, but Defense Force.
Defense Force, right.
So what had happened after Green Bay School, Green Bay Primary School, I went to Tartus Comprehensive School, and I recognized, like I said, education was the way for me to improve our chances of success. Because we didn't have the name, Antigua is about certain things that gets you ahead as a handicap, like a starting point. Yeah. So we weren't coming from any of the known families.
Sure.
We didn't have any inheritance to talk about, because the house we were in, we were leasing the land and paying house rent and them kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And we didn't go to any of the preppy school or anything like that. So it was like, yo, you have to find a way to get ahead because you have everything stacked against you.
Sure.
And education was the only avenue. So I took my schoolwork very seriously. And then after secondary school, I had to decide what we were going to do. There was no money to go to university. State College at the time didn't offer what I thought I wanted to do, which was getting into architecture. And so I recognized that it might be probably best that I work for a couple of years to save some money to go to school. And then I saw an ad on television, be all you can be in the army. You know what I'm saying? So my best friend and I
saw like the one in America.
Yeah, man, exactly. So my best friend and I, we decided we're going to try out the Defense Force.
Yeah.
So we went in, and luckily for me, before I got there, I was already doing some training with martial arts, Shotokan style. So I had some level of fitness. So by the time we got there and did our first physical tests, only my best friend and I passed the test out of the bunch of recruits. That whole experience with Defense Force is a story that can go on for a night and a day. But
I've heard some stories,
man.
But let's not keep
yeah. But
probably for the next time we link up and go into that.
Probably.
When the book come out, chapter
book. My boy, we'll retire for write that book. But I mean, we got a rude awakening because it was not easy, bro. It's not easy. I mean, but what it was for me is a very eye-opening experience about how far the human body can go if you can push yourself. There's this guy who's a motivational speaker. I think he's the only person in U.S. history who had completed SEAL training, Navy training, Green Beret training, and he was very thick and heavy before he started, and he slimmed down. He was talking about the journey that it took and what he had to overcome and what he had to kind of save himself from and where the road he was going down to where he is now. And he's correct, because your body can take a lot, but your mind is so much greater. So your mind can push further, but sometimes you don't realize it until you're put in a situation that you have to go beyond the limitations that are placed on yourself by yourself.
That's true.
Right?
Because that's one of the things I kind of struggle with, even to this day, is just a little bit more discipline. I mean, we can always improve, but that's something that I learned from, university, because going through like primary, secondary, even state college, it's just like, it just winging it then. Last minute cram, procrastinate.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
And I could tell too, because even when we were going to, again, we're going to get into it, when we were going to Cuba, and as I said, you came, you had a conversation with us. You could understand that, listen, you go to Cuba, you gotta have fun. But one thing you're not gonna do, a play. And you guys instill in us as well too that, hey, listen, you not only go for get your education, but you go for represent Antigua, right? And we don't put in the work for put Antigua name on the map in a certain way, and a certain light. You don't see some people be like, all right, cool, we can take the worship.
I remember when a particular country came by, I'm not gonna call the country's name, but particular country had plane loads of people come. And by the end of the first year, more than half of them already went back home. Understand? And like I said, because I would have gone through military training, I was very focused. But then I got knocked down again. So my life is a series of overcoming adversity to get me where I am. Right? And
what happened? What would cause?
So what had happened again is that when I had finished from Defense Force, I was there for 3 years, and the scholarship came up for Cuba. So I said, okay, let me go and actually study architecture in Cuba, which was good. So I left. But we still weren't out of our financial hole that we were in. So I spoke to the persons in charge at the time about coming back and doing summers with the force, and so I can have a salary that would allow me to then purchase the essentials I need to go back to Cuba. Because even though we had a scholarship, we still had to be responsible for plane ticket and the essentials going over.
Correct, and also you studying architecture,
it was expensive. Right, it was expensive.
You definitely need a laptop. You need a T-square, all your
the tools that you need, and so because we had to build models and these things, right. So, first year of I graduated the military with top honors. Mm-hmm. Then the first year in prep school, same thing happened. I topped my course and everything because I'm an overachiever. Mm-hmm. And I believe that if I can get to the highest level, then it allows me access to another level. Because again, that's my mindset. Education is the way to get out of the situation I was in. So I said to them, look, let me come back and work in the force. Mm. And they said, yeah, man. So after the first year when I finished, and I was waiting for summers. I came back home summers and tried to say, okay, I'm here now. Mm-hmm. Let me just come back in and do what I have to do. They were like, what are you talking about? So after the year when I left and I came back, I was not employed in the force.
So they didn't put anything in place for you for when you come back?
No. So I was...
So no, you come back thinking that you come back, no money secure,
nothing secured, nothing.
So no, when you back in Antigua, you
I was just
forget that dollar for go back.
Exactly, and I was just in the house, not doing anything, depressed. Because
I still have to go back to Cuba.
Right. So it was late in the game. Mm-hmm. Because normally if you're coming in for summer, you might try and organize something ahead of time.
On the Cuba summer shot.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that this is something that was sorted.
Yeah.
It wasn't. So when I got home and everything, and it was time to go back, my mom said, okay, fine. Let me try and see if I can help you out. Mm-hmm. And she went to a supermarket and said, look, I buy here all the time. Give me some stuff. I'll get it back to you. Mm. And the guy said, you're always taking things. Yes, you pay, but you're always taking things. Man, I walked around the store with her while we were packing the basket, and I couldn't catch myself.
Embarrassed?
Yeah. So I went back to Cuba with that on my mind, and I was like, this can't be real life.
Fox.
So I was like, if she's doing this, yes, I get the sacrifice, but I said, man, I just couldn't concentrate. I said, she shouldn't be putting herself through this for me at this stage of my age and where I am as a big man. Mm-hmm. I couldn't concentrate. So the first year of Cuba, before the first year of my university career, because remember, there's a prep year, which was fine.
Right. The
first year of university, when you're going through trying to assimilate all that information that's in a different language, and architecture was very difficult in the first year.
Can you imagine the calculus? You tell me the calculus of Spanish.
Yeah, and remember...
You did bio? No?
Yeah, no, bio physics. Physics and chemistry.
So chemistry, maths...
No, but you're actually calculus. In the first year of your university now.
Yeah. Right. So you're doing calculus, physics, chemistry.
You're doing history. You're doing projects. You're doing technology.
Yes. Information technology, all that stuff. And you still have to struggle with the fact that you learn the language as well.
So then what happened now? I just couldn't concentrate. I started to grow out a beard, and I was just in a state of depression because I felt as if she should not be going through
that. Yeah, so you were in Cuba, but your mind was still in Antigua.
Yes, my mind was on my mom. So I said, okay, let me come back home.
Yeah.
I left Cuba. I dropped out. I left Cuba, came back home. My best friend came for me, and when he saw me, he said, I don't recognize you. I was not looking like myself. So I came back home, and I said to her that I can't have you doing this and suffering like this. I get it. You're trying to help me with my education, but I need to work and find my way. I will find my way, but not like this. So my brother, he was not happy about it. He said, look, I understand we're struggling right now, but you really need to try and finish this opportunity that you have. And then at that time, my ex-girlfriend's mother, she as well gave me a lot of words of encouragement and told me, go back. Don't worry about your mother. I have her. Right? So that assurance kind of led me to jump back on the plane, and I got back to university just in time before they would have shut me out permanently, because I would have missed a certain amount of classes. Yeah. So that semester, the semester that I missed, the second semester, I had to catch up on the first and the second. So I doubled down back.